Well, hello everybody. This is Seth from the RE Tipster blog. I wanted to welcome you to this little conversation I'm going to have here today with a guy named Aaron George of Lawkick.com. And Aaron reached out to me just recently through my blog and was just telling me a little bit about his company and what they do. And I'll tell you, I get a lot of different emails from a lot of different people, most of which is completely irrelevant and doesn't really resonate with what I do. But when I heard from Aaron, it really made sense, the things he was saying and basically just the service that they provide. So I wanted to just basically record a quick conversation with him so that he can sort of tell us, what is Lawkick, what do they do, and just sort of fill you all in on what their service is and how it can help real estate investors like us. So I've got Aaron on the other line. And Aaron, I'm wondering if you can just start, kick this off and give us a quick explanation of what exactly is the premise behind Lawkick. What does your company do? And how is this kind of service beneficial for real estate investors?
Yeah, sure. So Lawkick is basically an online platform that makes it easier than ever to find legal help. And so the way that works is we have a network of attorneys. They're all pre-screened and qualified. And so as a real estate investor, you'd come to our site. You basically submit a little questionnaire. It takes 5 to 10 minutes tops. Describe your legal issue, kind of what's going on. And that goes out to our network of attorneys. And so attorneys that are, match the criteria, meaning they do real estate law and they're in your area, would be notified of, your request. They can contact you through the platform and basically submit a price quote. And so that'll be just an estimate of the cost to complete the job that you need done. And so the goal really is to just, make it more transparent and efficient to access legal services. And we think, for real estate investors in particular, that's a major thing that comes up, and so we think it's a huge benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, and you guys are a startup, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how long have you guys been around? When did you get started? What's the backstory on the company?
Yeah, we definitely are a startup pretty early on. So we've been live now for about 4 months. Launched the website in July, but the company dates back to about a year and a half ago. My co-founder and I were in law school at the time, and we were friends, and neither of us really wanted to practice law, and so we kind of were tossing around ideas. We both kind of had this entrepreneurial itch, so to speak. Having worked in the legal industry, we both observed the inefficiencies that existed in the market. It's pretty hard for a lot of people to find legal services that meet their needs and meet their budget. And likewise, it's hard for a lot of these attorneys, especially the small law firms and the solo practitioners, the people that don't have a huge marketing reach to, find clients. So we kind of came in with this idea that we could bridge the gap, make it efficient by using technology and doing it online, and kind of connecting these two groups together, as quick and easy as possible. And so that's kind of where the idea was born, and we incorporated our company October of 2012. From there, we spent a lot of time developing the initial, product and onboarding the attorneys, and here we are today. So
Okay, no, that's awesome. So essentially, you guys are kind of like an online dating service for lawyers and the clients that they serve, right? You kind of matching them together with the best fit. I mean, you're basically serving two segments of people. You've got your attorneys and you've got your clients. And if I understand this right, basically your income as a company is coming from the actual attorneys, right? You charge them the fee. So investors or clients like us, we're not paying anything. We just basically are submitting our information or reaching out for help and then hoping that the best help will come to us, correct?
Exactly. So yeah, it's a good analogy, the dating kind of site, just because legal services are kind of intimate and personal and you want to get the right fit. Much like when you're dating, you obviously want to have compatible interests and, be the right partners for each other. So very similar in that way. And yeah, the business model is oriented toward the lawyers because legal services tend to be pretty expensive as it is. We didn't want to come in and add to that cost for the consumers. And so since we're providing value to the lawyers by, efficient marketing channel and client acquisition channel, we figured it's justified to charge them for client leads, basically. So that's how it works. But yeah, completely free to use as a real estate investor or any other client like that. So
Sure. Okay. And I mean, being attorneys, I'm sure your army of attorneys probably services all kinds of different issues, right? It's not just real estate investing. So, like as a real estate investor, if I wanted to help, if I wanted help from you guys, I would go to your website, submit my information, and then basically just hope on the back end that I guess the right person finds me or the right connection is made, and we can kind of get matched up that way. So.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it is like you said. we cover pretty much every kind of major area of law, from, immigration and real estate and divorce or family law and business, whatever it may be. So
Sure.
through technology, we're able to kind of gather what you need based on how you answer the questions and, the categories you pick coming in. And that, like you said, gets matched out to the appropriate attorneys. So it saves people time and effort of having to search Google or, call around and really try to find the right lawyer themselves.
Okay. Now, I know some of my colleagues and other investor friends, some of them use services like Prepay Legal or Legal Shield or LegalZoom, some of these other, online or subscription-based services. And, I've heard mixed reviews on these, some good, some bad, in terms of the cost, the quality of service, and the relevance to what it is they need in the first place, things like that. I'm just wondering, as we look at Lawkick and consider what it can do, what would you say are the pros and cons of using Lawkick versus some of these other services out there?
Yeah, I have nothing personally against any of those services. I think they can be valuable for some people in some situations. But our take on it is this: that there's limitations with a lot of those systems. So if LegalZoom, for example, is kind of really more of like a self-help mechanism. So you're kind of doing your own filings and doing your own documents, and they just make it easier for you. They can help give you, consultations with lawyers too, but you're not kind of getting that same kind of hands-on, work with a lawyer that and trust. And so from that standpoint, we think our system is a little bit better tailored to your needs, I guess.
Sure.
And then as far as, the subscription model, I think that can make sense. It's, it's relatively affordable. It's like $20 or $30 a month, but having some industry insider knowledge, we actually kind of uncovered some statistics on that. And actually it's under 10% of people that subscribe to those kind of services that actually use it in a given month. And so you end up kind of just paying for something. It's kind of, it's insurance. You basically pay for it when you don't actually need it.
Yeah.
And so from our standpoint, it doesn't necessarily make sense. With legal services, it's like, okay, some issue comes up, you want to get it taken care of, and then you kind of want to forget about it until something else comes up. And so the great thing about our platform is that when something does come up, you can, submit your request, get it taken care of with a lawyer, and then it goes away. And then the next time something else comes up, you can repeat the process and do it again. Or if it's similar, you can work with the same lawyer.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes all the sense in the world to me. I know just from my perspective as an investor, I'm almost kind of along the lines of I'd rather take that money and just, file it away in a separate savings account or something. And then if and when a legal issue comes up, say, if I ever got into a lawsuit, heaven forbid, or some other huge fiasco was going on in my life, I could actually get the best help I can possibly get, not just some run-of-the-mill, cookie cutter attorney who I'm paying $20 a month,
For
So
sure, yeah, and
sense to me.
that's really the goal. Yeah, the goal is to give you the choice. So whether if you want the high end guy that's went to Harvard and has 25 years of experience and he's billing $600 an hour, we've got him for you. But if you want to go, with a guy who's maybe a little less experienced and charges a lot less, we have those options as well. So
Sure.
the goal is really to just make it easy and efficient to find the right lawyer at the right price for you.
Okay, cool. Now, I know, I guess when I'm thinking about some of these other services out there, one of the things that comes to mind is like quality and getting attorneys who know what they're doing. These guys are smart, they're successful. I can really trust them with my legal needs. And I think you said on your website, you guys kind of pre-screen these attorneys and, you make sure that they actually are up to speed and they know what they're doing. What exactly is that process for pre-screening them? How do we know that we can trust these guys?
Yeah, we definitely do. We take steps to, protect people and make sure we're getting quality attorneys because that's really important. Mm-hmm. The process is basically when an attorney applies to be a member of our network, we do kind of a background check. So we'll check with the State Bar Association, make sure that they actually are an attorney, that they have, a bar card issued and that it's active, and we double check to make sure that they have no kind of disciplinary actions or records of malpractice with previous clients and those kinds of things. And as long as that's okay, we'll pretty much admit them. We do also require a minimum of 2 years of practice experience.
Sure.
So, we didn't want to just be a resource for kids who went to law school and couldn't find a job. So we make sure that everybody is an actual attorney that's been practicing law for a couple of years and is qualified and certified to do so.
Sure. Okay. And I guess talking about cost, I know we talked a little bit about how this is not subscription-based. This isn't necessarily for people who want the cheapest way out. But, would you say the cost of the typical lawyer through Lawkick is, pretty much comparable with the market? Is it cheaper, more expensive? Where does it fall in terms of that?
Yeah, well, like I kind of said earlier, you'll see a large fluctuation in prices. But the great thing about it is because it is so efficient and you get these comparisons quickly and easily from a bunch of different attorneys, you can really find what fits with your budget. And, on the attorney side, they know, well, they can't see what the other lawyers are bidding, but they know that other lawyers are also contacting you and submitting price quotes. So they really give you an honest kind of best quote that they, because they're incentivized to try to get hired. So you'll get some pretty reasonable price quotes from what we've found so far. And on average, I think for most projects, the average fluctuation from low to high is close to $1,400 actually. So if you are in it really for the savings, that's definitely an option. But usually there's kind of some balance between high level of quality and experience of the attorney and the price you pay. So
Sure. No, that's awesome. That's great to know. And I know, being a startup, you guys are a younger company. I mean, you're kind of just sort of getting out there at this point. As far as like location, are you guys in all 50 states? Are you just in certain areas of the country? I know you're based in California, so tell us a little bit about where you're located. I mean, what kind of geographic areas you can serve at this point.
Sure. So yeah, we are a new company. We've only been around for, like I said, 4 months as far as the website being up and running. And so we're mostly concentrated in Southern California at this time, which is where we're based in Los Angeles here. We have about 150 lawyers in our network, but we do also have some other little pockets of attorneys in other kind of major metro areas. Got a few in Boston, New York, Chicago, a couple other places scattered about the country. But that's something that we are constantly kind of expanding upon. The great thing for them is it's free to sign up for our network. As long as you meet all the criteria, we'll let you join, and you're only going to get billed when you get a client. So there's really no incentive not to do it for them.
Sure.
And so we're able to acquire attorneys relatively easy. And so we'll be building that out hopefully over to, by this time next year, we'd ideally like to have 75 or 80% of all states covered. So, and if we do get a client in an area that we don't service at the time, we're all about customer service, and we'll happily kind of help them find some attorneys and kind of screen them, since we do have these mechanisms in place of doing so already.
Yeah, and I know, and just a side note, I mean, this recording is as of December 2013, so chances are, whenever you're listening to this in 2014, 2015, beyond, I mean, chances are the network will have greatly expanded and there's going to be more options. So definitely, check out the website and see what's available and give it a shot. I mean, it could be exactly the solution you're looking for. So again, I know just from the perspective of an investor, this is just a totally irrelevant thing. Instead of trying to fiddle around and find random forms on the internet for free and try to stumble through it yourself, which is what I try to do a lot. It can suck up a lot of time and be very costly from that standpoint when you don't have anybody who really knows what they're doing holding your hand through that process. So I just know, man, when I first started, if I could have had a resource like this that really connected the dots for me and made it easier, it would have been huge. So
yeah, that's exactly right. We're big advocates of not trying to do it yourself because it's risky, and like you said, it takes time. But you can end up costing yourself, big time down the road if you don't set things up properly or you don't get the proper documents or whatever it may be. So our perspective is you might as well get an attorney from the start and set yourself up for success in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I can just see huge potential for this kind of business model. It's just a matter of, I guess for you guys, Aaron, being one of the co-founders, just working through those initial kinks and the difficulties that I'm sure are present in a startup like this and just enduring and sticking it out and making it work. Because I know, I mean, if you can get those wrinkles out, man, there's got to be a ton of people out there who need this exact kind of service. So
absolutely, yeah.
I encourage you to keep going.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we've definitely found that, the more people we talk to, everyone kind of sees the need and sees that it's something that's valuable. So it's just a matter of really creating that awareness and introducing it to as many people as we can.
Cool, man. Well, those were all the questions I had. Was there anything else you wanted to add, or is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. But I guess I'll just add that, as a real estate investor, I've dabbled with it myself, and I really see that this is a key kind of demographic of ours, and I really think it's a group of people that we are focused on helping. I think legal issues tend to come up a lot in that business, and so I just want to let all the listeners out there know that we're here to help. So if you've got any legal issues, check us out at lawkick.com.
Awesome, sounds good. Hey, thanks again, Aaron. Thanks to everybody who's listening. Definitely go check out Lawkick. Give it a shot, see what it's all about. And thanks again for listening.
Thanks, Seth.
Aaron. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.